Thank you, Madam Speaker. Can the Honourable Attorney General, Minister for Economy, Public Enterprises, Civil Service and Communications advise his House on the progress of the National Development Plan Consultation? Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honourable Attorney General and Minister for Economy, Public Enterprises, Civil Service and Communications.
Madam Speaker, the progress of the National Development Plan Consultation is now in the second phase. We have a draft copy of the National Development Plan. We also have an abridged version of the National Development Plan. Madam Speaker, as you know, that we had widespread public consultations on the NDP. It is now currently being reviewed internally. Of course, the setbacks from Winston and, of course, the tropical depression TD04F had an impact on our ability to go out to the public, but nonetheless it also has given us an opportunity to continue with the work. As you know, Madam Speaker, just to recap, as highlighted to Parliament previously, we have an internal consultant from ADB through the assistance of the Australian Department of Foreign Affairs to provide technical guidance on the preparation of the NDP. We also have the Global Green Growth Institute that has provided a green growth specialist to mainstream the green growth framework for Fiji and the national climate change policy into the development plan. Madam Speaker, we also have to take into account the 17 SDGs to be included within the National Development Plan. And we have also got additional assistance from DFAT, the Australian Foreign Affairs Department, to mainstream cost-cutting issues, including gender considerations and other issues affecting Fijians living with disabilities and, for example, our youth. Madam Speaker, we've also going to, before we go out to members of the public again with the draft, we are going to hold internal, when I say internal consultations, without sort of having public meetings, but with meeting with specific groups. So meeting with the various civil society groups, the chambers of commerce, other organizations, the women's groups, etc., to get their feedback also. Madam Speaker, we hope to have these two versions once they're completed before we have the public consultations. They'll be available to members of the public and also be available online, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I can also tell you that we have a program that has also been attached. We start the public consultations, which will be advertised in the media from the 20th to the 31st of March. In fact, all the venue, places and times and dates have been fixed, except for Lau, Kandavu and Lomaiviti, which is still being sorted out. But all the other provinces and different areas in Fiji, we already have identified the venues and the time and the dates where we will be there. The team will be there to get the feedback again. Madam Speaker, one thing that is quite interesting to note, because we have not had a development plan in Fiji since the first coup in Fiji, which is 1987, a lot of people actually aren't necessarily aware of what an NDP should actually include. It is very interesting to note when we went out for the consultations, the general public is not necessarily concerned about what's going to happen or what their view is in 15 years' time. They're more concerned about the here and the now. And it is, in a way, natural for them to talk about it. In particular, for example, if you go after a cyclone, because they want their immediate needs addressed. They want to say, well, look, we want the power pole fixed up, or we want the water to come here, or we want the roof to be fixed up. That's the more immediate concern. But a successful national development plan is one that looks at matters of the state and the nation in a strategic manner. So, for example, at the moment, 69.4% of the Fijian population is below the age of 40. What is the impact of that on our health system in 20 years' time? These are the kind of things we need to be able to address in the NDP. What does that mean in terms of employment issues? What does that mean in terms of the pension scheme? All of these are strategic placements of what we need to be able to address in the strategic plan and how we as a nation should work towards that. It should also be a document that will send a message out to our development partners so they themselves can specifically target their development agenda with Fiji and work together with the government to ensure that we are able to meet our national objectives vis-a-vis all the different international imperatives that we have to meet, for example, the SDGs, and also our own targets in respect of the national indicative, programs, for example, reducing our carbon footprint. So these are the kind of issues we want to address in the NDP, and of course working also together with the ministries, which will provide a guidance to the budgets to come. So that's the progress, Madam Speaker. The work is continuing. We've got some and a number of fresh eyes looking at the draft. There's been drafts of the redrafts. And of course we've got the program, as I said, that we'll be having public consultations with the public from the 20th to the 31st of March this year. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. I can open the floor to questions, if any. Honourable Fijian Attorney.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I thank the Honourable Minister for his explanation. But in his 2015 budget address, there was a promise there that the 5-year development plan was going to be completed in the first quarter of 2015. And likewise, in the 2016-2017 budget address, it says there that the 20-year and 5-year National Development Plan is expected to be finalized before the end of 2016. So can the Honourable Minister explain what is he going to do, because definitely those stated targets has not been fulfilled, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Honourable Attorney General.
Madam Speaker, it is quite redundant to highlight what the Honourable Member has highlighted. She knows that 2015 and 2016 have already gone past. And as we have said, the NDP has not been finalized. And we are telling you some of the reasons as to why it was not. And we are also giving you a plan as to when we'll have the second round of consultations. We could have presented that document to this Parliament, and then you would have criticized it also. But we also, for our own purposes, Madam Speaker, we want to have a good document. It's going to be, after all, a 20-year plan, a 5-year plan. We want to do it right. And if we do not have the right resources, and if we do not have the right input, let's not put up a document that's going to be a dud document. Let's get it right, and that's what we're trying to do. So if it has been delayed, and it has been delayed, which we accept and we've said previously, then so be it, but we want to put up a good document. And I urge the Honourable Member, you'll be seeing the advertisements in the paper, go and have public consultations and make your contribution.
Makes sense.